Ah! Just for a second, drop my mic. Crazy. Right. Hello. 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 How you doing? Sunday evening. Broadcasting live. Terry James here. Out to my Facebook friends, Instagram associates, and anybody that can search me up on YouTube. Hi, I'm Terry James. I'm a holistic mindset coach and a high ticket affiliate marketing mentor, as well as generally being a spiritual badass. Self-proclaimed, of course. So Sunday night, and something that's really propped up with me this weekend a few times is, why are people so bloody negative? It's actually the easy answer why people are negative. And I was one of those people for most of my life until I went on a self-development journey, learned some new shit, and realized that things are a choice. So let's just say that we live in perpetual bliss. The universe is in perfect balance and harmony with each other. There's yin and yang and plus and minus, and the balance is just the line, a plateau. But if we was to just live in perpetual bliss and to not experience negative or positive, then life would be boring, wouldn't it? So what happens when we're positive all the time? Well, saying goes, time flies when we're having fun, right? There's a reason for that, because you're in flow. Essentially, you're in flow. We're in infinite possibilities within an infinite universe, and we are energy beings. So everything is relative to energy. What we give off, we receive. But in order for us to have an experience, when we're talking about plus and negative, we have to create limitation. So we tend to be problem solvers, and we tend to search the negative and highlight the negative because we've been programmed in such a way. Negative stuff tends to get more attention because life is a drama, and people thrive on drama, don't they? Everything. The news. I imagine back in the day, news channels would have given out good news, and it would have been boring. No one would watch. So people were then seeking negative stuff, maybe to make themselves feel better. And then, of course, we've been programmed in a society, education system, monetary system, pharmaceutical systems, and religious systems to basically, if we don't get it right, we get punished. So, does anyone know people? And if anyone, you can pick up the StreamYard link. Click that, it's in the description, I believe, and you can make comments and put your tooth pennies worth in. Say hello, say where you're watching from, and give me a question if you like. So essentially, with negativity and negative people, they're just highlighting things for an experience, but it's programmed. It's a programmed bias. The news will always focus on negative stuff because it sells more. I remember hearing the first time about negative reviews when I was a pub manager 20 years ago. And I was very aware that if you get it wrong, someone will tell 20 odd people about a negative experience. But if you get that experience right, they'll tell 5 people. Now that's a bit weird, but it is what it is. So what can we do about it? Well, most of the time we're experienced drama critics because of that limitation, and people, everyone's got an opinion and they want to give you your tooth pennies worth. And that's fine, because it's just their opinion based on, and this is a really important bit, based on, I need to press I don't want to go too long today, so I'm going to put a little stopwatch over here to keep me at about 8 or 9 minutes. Based on their own personality, on their bias, on their personality traits, on their perception in which they see the world. And I myself, for much of my life and for much time in it, was almost stuck in a negativity loop. Wow, I'm so glad and grateful to the universe that I'm out of it now, because now I can look at everything from a positive light, and it actually highlights the limiting language that other people use. As a scout master and leader, one of the things that kind of used to grate on me sometimes is the culture we live in, and all the children saying, like, I can't do this and I can't do that, throwing tantrums and all these behavioral kind of issues, should we say. And parents didn't really know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to deal with that. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a scout leader anymore. But When it comes down to perception, and we're talking about we're living in a balanced, perfect universe, everything's plus, minus. So we have to, in order to have an experience, create limitation. But what goes up must come down, and vice versa. So if someone's being negative, there's always a different perspective, a different light to look at it upon in every situation. And if you ask real successful people and people that in, say, business, self-development, in life, that are successful and thriving, one of the main things that people say they have the ability to do, and advise other people to do it as quickly as possible, is to be able to see things in a different light, look at a different angle. And that's when you're really talking about a high level of mastery when it comes to like awesomeness. Because if you just focus on the bad, where energy, where your focus goes, energy flows. And so you're going to see more of that stuff. So you need to get yourself out of that rabbit hole quick. People can go on self-development journeys. I've worked with people, and when I used to do the one-to-one stuff, and people were generally stuck in that negativity loop. And the first step was always taking the first step, identifying that they needed help, and stepping towards that. And that's the hardest step. That's real uncomfortable. And we know that, growth spurts happen, it's uncomfortable. But when we're talking about our minds, since leaving school and what have you, we don't really pick up the baton that much or encouraged to learn more stuff. We just fall into a rat race of being like pre-programmed by what we're watching, what we're influenced by, or the people we hang around. And that's fine, that's life, and we don't know anything else but that. But then something happens. It might be that, we want to move so far away from the pain that we're feeling, and we have that realization that we want to move towards pleasure. And we know that something's got to change. So, one thing that I've experienced, and I've learned this week, how to turn this around. And it's the levels of critics that we have to deal with on an everyday basis. So, let's talk about protectors, family members, spouses, friends. It comes from a place of love. And if you're doing something new, or you're starting to see things in a different light, or you want to try something, everyone's going to put their two pennies worth in. And we do tend to listen to the wrong people a lot of the time. Good old Uncle Bob. I love Uncle Bob. I always bring Uncle Bob up all the time. Uncle Bob will tell you how to do this in your relationship, what you should be doing with work, and what you should be doing in the gym, maybe. But has Uncle Bob got all those attributes and success to actually listen to that person? No. They say, and I do like this quote, they don't make statues of critics. But if it wasn't for critics, the person probably wouldn't fuel their fire, be able to highlight their own limiting beliefs, even areas in which they can heal. Super, super powerful. So by turning it around, it gives you insight, and it gives you tools to actually go forward and grow more. If, for instance, you are experiencing some negativity online, then there are deflammatory people, and that could be people that are out to discredit you, still maybe still your friends, your clients, whatever it is, or come in your group. But remember, hurt people. So and again, when people pointing fingers, there's usually three fingers pointing at them. I really, really like that one. But critiques aren't bad. Critiques are straight talkers, not necessarily bad. You could thank them, really. Think about the creator economy that we're in, this thing that you're watching on, if you're watching, and if you watch it later, please chuck in a hashtag replay, and I can give you a thank you and a hello at some point, or ask me a question, or critique what I'm saying. If you don't agree with me, tell me, because then what will happen is I'm not going to antagonize and block you or anything like that. We'll basically, we're going to get a bit of engagement going. And other people will love to watch that because they'll see an argument. And you see the biggest engagement that any posts have are when they're controversial, but also when people are airing opinions. Unfortunately, with language, 90% of it is in kinesthetics, like feelings, emotions, vibration, energy. 10% is language. So when we're actually kind of digging each other out and texting people, it can be seen in lots of different lights, in a lot of different perspectives of how you write something, because there's no tonality, there's no energy being transferred while we do it. Let's talk about a troll. Now, a troll's the worst type of critic, because a troll is a fake person. Oh, I'm just about to hit 10 minutes. buggered that one up then. Okay, a troll is a fake person. They're out to bully you, really ruin you. So if you get trolled, and to be honest, with my experience, touch wood, I've got a negative crystal here that I keep close by my laptop to help protect me. Then Twitter is terrible for trolls. So if in doubt, just kick them out. Basically, words are weapons. They really, really are, and we can create spells on each other through our thinking, through just worrying about people. Um, you know, ultimately, people will do their own thing. I felt so sad in my mid 30s when I kind of could sit back and watch people and think that not a lot's going to change there. Even when I was 18 years old, 19, in the pubs, a bit of a party boy, and you would know, and then started running pubs, you would know that that person that come in at 5 o'clock on a every night after work, has 5 pints, 2 vodkas, kebab on the way home, goes home, passes out, gets up, and then goes back to work. That's their life, and that's the way it's always going to be until they maybe pass away or something happens. And that's sad to me. That's someone's life, and you've kind of got to respect that. But there's more to life than that. And so if we can go to our deathbeds and we can repent and be forgiven for our sins and all that glorious, pearly gates, David, all that kind of stuff, who are you going to meet on that journey? And the chances are you might meet the hopes and dreams and all those gifts and inspired thoughts and poems and books and songs that weren't sung, and all those gifts that could have been shared with the world that weren't breathed life into, purely and simply because of limiting beliefs and being held back by worrying about what other people thought. So the more resilience you can build in your own life and really kind of fill your own cup up, do your self-development, keep learning. If you stay in receivership, like open-minded and in study mode, you're constantly going to be learning new things. And I, for one, am an advocate for it now, but I wasn't always. Only 3-4 years ago, I started that journey. I spent the previous 20 years of that thinking that was it, and I knew it all. I was angry, I was depressed. I drank nearly every single day. I smoked a lot of weed on and off through the years, and it doesn't serve you. It really doesn't serve you. So beware of labels, beware of language, and do a little bit of homework, do a little bit of self-development. So when you have real clarity and you have confidence in yourself, what happens is your inner voices go away. But the inner voice, that inner critic, when I've done therapy and hypnotherapy and coaching with people, a lot of the limiting beliefs, well, actually, all of the limiting beliefs, to be honest, that people kind of carry and suffer with through their lives are inherited by other people. It can go back to childhood traumas. It could be just be how you've been programmed and what you believe is possible for you, and your circle of influence, because you care what people think of you. And we live in this world where we want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to, basically, we've all been programmed to basically go to school, get a job, get in debt, get married, have kids, have a house, die early, die early, pay even more of that taxes back, or if you get to retirement and what have you, then you get like a shitty pension. You get to try and survive on 40% what you didn't actually could afford in the first place. So in my opinion, that's kind of a bit of a scam. But the society isn't really built on people being free thinkers and freedom of speech too much, especially with what's going on in the world at the moment. So when you love yourself and you have real clarity around that, your inner voice will quieten down, because you'll know that your conscious mind is more powerful and you are the one pressing the keyboards and programming all those programs in your subconscious which show up on their own. When you love yourself, you aren't affected by other people's pain as much, and you could probably either allow it just to wash off you, or just know it's not your monkey, it's not your monkey, it's not your circus. Life will always give you lessons, and they'll give you lessons that you need. The trick is to actually, when you get triggered, to look at, okay, what are the origins of that? Where did it come from? How would I rather feel or think about this situation? And even think about someone that you maybe look up to, or a hero of yours. How would they deal with it? Because problems really don't exist. A problem for you might not be a problem for me, and a problem's only a problem if it's a problem. So why are we labeling problems? Why are we seeking out limitation for this experience? Because when we just lay on our back and float, stay in the present moment where all the good stuff is, if you heard them sayings before, it's basically because we're overthinkers, and we're overthinkers. We're looking for problems. We're worrying. Are the bills going to get paid? The kids going to be all right? Are they safe? Is my partner happy? Is they going to leave me? And we're all a little bit fucked up in the same way because of the way that we've been programmed and because of this negativity bias that we live in. But it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. It really is a choice. Easier said than done. And when all is said and done, more is said and done. Thank you very much, Rob Moore, for that quote. If you focus on the upside, it really is a gift to yourself, focusing on the upside and just kind of sitting with things and, not ruminating, not overthinking too much, but just looking at the flip side. How could it be from someone else's perspective? And that can change a hell of a lot. Okay. Thank you for your watching. I'm Toby James. If you like the content, then please follow the main channels. I'm got some really exciting stuff coming up very soon, and I'm going to be talking about that. I've done an interview for a guest speaker for industry leaders, for coaches and consultants, people wanting to get into the network marketing space, into this creator economy, so that they can create their own freedom for themselves, their families. Safety first. Because normal's not working. Employment, I think, isn't as safe as we always thought. And I get so many people that are having babies, have had babies, and I was one of them. I was killing myself doing my job and living it unpurposefully, without too much passion. It's probably why I drank so bloody much. Just to null the pain, null the feeling, the emotions. Something had to change. Something does have to change. And the change starts within ourselves. And it's our choice to take that step. If you need a helping hand, there are people here to help you. There really are. Asking it is given. Anything is possible. There's no such thing as too good to be true, because everything's possible. We are infinite beings and with infinite possibilities in a universe that is expanding and growing, and it's all energy. It's all made of energy. The elixir of life is in every breath that we take. Every day above ground is an awesome day. So be careful where you're throwing your energy, guys, and how you are talking to yourself. Because a lot of the time, how we talk to ourselves, we're not used to listening to our own voices, seeing ourselves in a mirror. I know, for one, I didn't like my smile, and I thought actually everyone else used to seeing this smile, which I could label with all sorts of things. But hey, why do it to yourself? I don't want to be the abuser, the victim of myself in my own life any longer. So I decided to change. And now I feel like I've got a responsibility to share what I've learned with other people so that they can take little steps, tiny, tiny steps, just to making a little bit of change. And sometimes we've got to put ourselves first, be a little bit selfish. Selfish is not a negative word. Again, if you reframe when someone accuses you of being selfish, usually it's because you're not doing what they want you to do. And so does not make them selfish in a negative connotation. So take care, be beautiful, throw us up a comment. Lovely to engage with you. And I will see you on the other side very soon. Peace. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Speak kindly. It's powerful.